Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeline Despabiladeras, and I'm here with my fellow presenter, Ms. Ria Estrecho, to discuss one of the most important literacies in the 21st century, namely global literacy. Global literacy is an understanding of how the world is organized and interconnected sa paanong pamamaraan tayo nagkakaugnay-ugnay sa kabila ng pagkakaiba ng ating mga kultura, ng ating mga tradisyon at kaugalian, ng mga sistemang kinabibilangan ng pa-economic man o political. Nang sa gayon ay matutunan natin kung ano ba ang papel na dapat nating gampanan sa pagsasaayos ng iisang mundong ating ginagalawan. So isang magandang halimbawa ay yung motivational activity na ginawa natin kanina dahil ang musika ay isang manifestasyon ng kultura. So nagkakaugnay-ugnay tayo dahil sa musika na pinakikinggan natin saan man dako ng mundo tayo naroroon. So sa panahon natin, ang usong-uso ngayon ay yung mga Korean bands at Korean songs na pinangalanan natin K-pop. So in order for us to fully participate in the global society, we need three essentials. First, knowledge. Second, skills. And third, values. First, knowledge. Mahalaga na meron tayong kaalaman sa mga nangyayari sa ating mundong ginagalawan dahil lahat nga tayo ay magkakaugnay. Kung kaya't lahat ng mga global issues ay may socio-political implications. Halimbawa na lang, historically, ang World War II ay digmaan lamang ng kapangyarihan ng mga European countries. Pero lumagpas ito sa Asia at naapektuhan tayong mga Pilipino at ang Pilipinas. Gayon din ang pagkakahalal ni Donald Trump bilang presidente ng Amerika dahil ang Pilipinas at ang Amerika ay may diplomatic at military relations. Second, values. Mula sa kaalaman, dapat mag-ugat ang respeto sa kapwa, sa iba't ibang relihiyon, sa iba't ibang lahi, sa iba't ibang kultura at sa iba't ibang kaugalian. Bakit mahalaga sa atin ang eleksyon? Dahil sa pagpili ng ating partikular na kandidatong iboboto ay sumasalamin ang ating mga prinsipyong pinaninindigan at ang ating mga values o kaugalian. Gayon din ang importansya ng pagpili ng stand sa mga global issues. Halimbawa na lang sa territorial dispute ng Palestine at ng Israel kung saan merong oppressor at merong oppressed. At third, skills. Hindi natatapos sa respeto kundi sa direktang pakikipag-ugnayan sa iba't ibang bansa, iba't ibang lahi at iba't ibang kultura. Nang sa gayon ay tuluyan nating maunawaan ang konteksto ng kanilang pamumuhay. Ganun na lamang ang pagpupursige natin na mag-aral ng Ingles at ng ibang lengguwahe kapag pupunta tayo sa ibang bansa nang sa gayon ay maintindihan ang ibang mga lahi.
Aims of global literacy: to address issues of globalization, racism, diversity, and social justice. Meaning to say, to be a global literate is to be knowledgeable enough to understand, accept, and empower all kinds of people, including people of color, and knowing that biological differences is just an external factor that should never be a hindrance towards unity. It also aims to create global citizens who has a say in different social issues, including the fight for social injustice, and equip them with enough skills to survive in a changing world. One example is the 2001 9/11 Twin Tower attack in New York City. Dahil gawa ito ng Al-Qaeda o isang militant Islamic group, Muslim men and women up until the present day suffers from the prejudice of being a terrorist. Here are some of the articles na magpapakita ng racism na nagaganap sa ating mga Muslim Americans in the US. To empower students with knowledge and take action to make a positive impact in the world and their local community. So being knowledgeable is not enough if not put into action, which can gradually impact the betterment of community, society, and state that you belong in. Tinuturuan tayo nito na hindi sapat ang awareness lamang. Kailangan natin kumilos upang makakita ng changes and improvements regarding global issues. The expectations of global literacy overlap significantly with the aims of contemporary liberal education. Ang Ang pag-aaral ng global literacy ay may pagkakahalintulad sa makabagong liberal na edukasyon na may layuning hindi lamang magpo-focus sa isang spesipikong disiplina, ngunit sumasaliksik sa iba't ibang timely and relevant global issues na kinakaharap natin ngayon.
So now, what does it take for you to be called a global literate? Number 1. Global literates have respect for humans no matter what their race, culture, gender, religion, or political perspectives are. When you go to Rome, you do what Romans do. When you go to Japan, you do what Japanese do as respect for their culture. This is why Daniel Padilla in 2017 was called out dahil niyugyug niya yung cherry blossoms, which is not acceptable in Japanese culture. And this is why it's very important to know about the cultures of different countries. So in Japan, for example, napakahalaga sa kanila ng pagbabaw bilang isang kultura sa tuwing ikaw ay mag-greet ng Japanese. And then we should know by now that geishas are not prostitutes. They are not courtesans. They are actually forbidden historically to have direct contact with their clients. So even the kimonos or the traditional clothing in Japan has symbolisms. For example, geishas are not allowed to wear ribbon in front of their kimono because there is a symbolic idea that it is easy access or you are a prostitute when you wear ribbon in front of your kimono. So that's for courtesans or prostitutes only, historically. Global literates also have respect for diversity and various perspectives. So as a Christian, assess yourselves. How do you treat other people? How do you treat Muslims? How do you treat Hindus? How do you treat Buddhists? Because they are all part of the global world. How do you treat other sectors? How do you treat the LGBTQ+ community? Next, global literates also promote sustainable patterns of living, consumption, and production because they don't only appreciate the natural world but also demonstrate respect towards the rights of all living things. Now, this is quite a loophole because when we talk about global literacy, there is automatically a connection with globalization. And all these glamorized ideas about globalization and being global literates are quite hypocritical because transnational corporations like McDonald's, Nike, and Apple, which are products of globalization, are actually primary contributors of environmental pollution. So what's not clicking do?
Now, let's move on into answering the question on how can we teach global literacy. According to the chapter 2 of the book Mastering Global Literacy by Heidi Hayes Jacobs, number 1 is by raising your awareness. How do we become aware of learning opportunities to support global literacy? Here are some awareness strategies that we can try. Gain a global perspective. Read books about global topics. Start a conversation. Watch television shows with global perspectives. All of this will help us to be more updated of what's happening in a global scale. Making a commitment or setting it as a goal. Developing your competence with contemporary tools or utilizing digital media and technology. Building your personal learning network or connections where you can learn from. Amplifying your curriculum or using it as a tool to access variety of global literatures and resources.
Next, we need a holistic approach in teaching global literacy or the concept of learning it at home because the exposure in culture starts at home. So knowledge, skills, and values must be taught at home first. We must also use technology responsibly in ways that will make us prosperous with knowledge, skills, and values about global issues and other cultures rather than ways that create dichotomies. Lastly, we must teach in the mother tongue because we can never be knowledgeable about other culture if we're not knowledgeable enough with our own. We can never respect other culture if we do not put importance to our own. And we can never be globally literates if we are locally illiterates. That sums up our lesson for today. Thanks for watching.